Welcome aboard. We are so glad to have you as a member of our team. This presentation is designed to help you understand how Transition GPS and Accessing Higher Education Career Track work together to assure service members are provided the tools they need to experience a successful transition from the military. Our purpose here is to show how Transition GPS and Accessing Higher Education work in tandem to meet the needs of service members who are readying themselves for the civilian workforce. With that in mind, we will cover these 5 objectives: legislation, Navy's model, which is the structure of how the Navy delivers the 5-day Transition GPS program, a review of career readiness standards and the individual transition plan, an overview of the capstone event, and finally, what you can expect from our Fleet and Family Support Center staff. Let's begin with legislation. The Veterans Opportunity to Work, or VOW Act of 2011, was signed into law by President Obama as a commitment to reduce veterans' unemployment rate. It makes Transition GPS mandatory for all eligible separating or retiring service members. It standardizes transition assistance in order to provide service members from every branch the education and assistance needed to meet career readiness standards, now referred to as CRS. These CRSs are written out in individual transition plans, a set of documents service members are given at the beginning of their transition process. We will discuss that during this presentation. The first thing that happens in the service member's journey through Transition GPS is pre-separation counseling. This is mandatory for all service members. During the counseling, service members are given an overview of Transition GPS, including an explanation of the career track courses. The DD Form 2648, pre-separation counseling, is completed and signed, and the first individual transition plan, which we'll refer to as the ITP, is distributed. The ITP assigns every service member a set of steps to complete in order to achieve CRS. At the end of pre-separation counseling, service members and their spouses are encouraged to sign up for the Transition GPS 5-day workshop. Day 1 of the Transition GPS 5-day workshop for Navy is facilitated by FFSC staff. Service members review transition resiliency, personal finances, the MOC crosswalk, and their interest profiler, the assessment tool that helps determine a person's career interests. For example, if a service member is interested in becoming a nurse and needs to complete a nursing degree, that will be revealed by the end of Day 1 and marked on their ITP Block 1. This is where the transitioning service member designates his or her intention to pursue access to higher education. Eventually, this person will appear in your class and will be encouraged to bring the assessment form. Days 2 through 4 are facilitated by the Department of Labor representatives. The focus is on career exploration, job search, resume writing, and interviewing skills. Day 5 is facilitated by VA representatives. They cover healthcare, education, disability, and all other VA benefits. After the pre-separation counseling and the 5-day Transition GPS model is completed, participants are encouraged to pursue their next steps: higher education, technical fields, or owning their own business. There are several important items to note here. 1. A service member may choose to attend more than one career track workshop. 2. Service members are told about their VA education benefits during the VA benefits brief. However, not every member in your class will have attended that VA brief. 3. You are welcome to invite a VA rep into your workshop to review the VA education benefits during that portion of your class. It is a good introduction for those who haven't been to the VA benefits brief, and it's a great refresher for those who have been. 4. Transitioning service members should bring the following documents to your class: the Pre-Separation Counseling Form, DD 2648, or DD 2648-1 for reservists, ITP Block 3, which is the higher education form, proof of having completed the VA e-benefits registration, and results of the interest profiler or assessment. Service members may come to your workshop without some or all of these documents. Please do not turn them away. Encourage them to take the interest profiler or assessment during lunch or on a break or after class, even during class if you think that is better. Do your best to ensure career readiness standards are met during your workshop. 5. ITP Block 3 is the Accessing Higher Education Career Track section is for the transitioning service member. This section is essential for them. They must complete it in your class. They will bring it to their capstone event. It's mandatory. If they don't have their ITP, you are authorized to print copies during your workshop. 6. During class, please continue to remind transitioning participants to fill out the corresponding portions of ITP Block 3. Again, they will need these items for their capstone event. More is explained about the capstone event on the next screen. The capstone event is the final component of Transition GPS. It is mandatory for all separating service members to attend 90 days prior to their date of separation. That means all the aforementioned components of Transition GPS must be completed, and the correct sections of the ITP must be filled out prior to a service member signing up to attend the capstone event. You are encouraged to participate in capstone events, but please check with your supervisor first. Should you participate, you will be there to verify and validate that CRS have been met for accessing higher education. A list of what service members need to have for that verification is shown on the next screen. For service members who do not meet CRS, they are provided a warm handover to the appropriate agency, school, or resource. A warm handover means you have directly connected the service member to an appropriate education counselor, and that is documented on the ITP checklist, DD Form 2958. That means the counselor's name, email address, and telephone number are written on line 26 of the form. You may verify and validate CRSs and provide warm handovers as necessary during your 2-day workshop. Just be sure to document this action on the ITP and the ITP checklist DD Form 2958. It will be with your strategic cooperation that transitioning service members meet their CRS and are prepared for the capstone event. Periodically, during your class, please stop and ask service members to complete the appropriate sections of their ITP Block 3. Every transitioning service member in your class must have a printed copy of their ITP. No worries, it can be printed out in your classroom. Paper and printer are provided by the FFSCs for your use. As you can see, the Fleet and Family Support Center staff provide a lot of administrative and logistical support. FFSC staff coordinate scheduling, registration, marketing, reminders, classroom setup, provide equipment, help participants register for Go Wi-Fi accounts, and enter attendees' information in the DoD TAP database. Along with new computers, Navy has also provided new printers in the classrooms. Folks can print out ITPs right there during the workshop. There is no need for a participant to feel left out because he or she doesn't have the right documents or is missing handouts. Your part in the transition process will help service members and their families overcome challenges they may face while pursuing higher education and a smooth transition into civilian life. Thank you and welcome aboard.